Hello and welcome everybody to this webinar coming live to you from New Zealand. Present today here with us is the team from AUT University, which is based in Auckland, New Zealand. And we have a nice big panel from AUT University. And present here is myself, Arun Jacob. I'm a licensed immigration advisor based in the city of Hamilton in New Zealand, and my colleague Mary, who is also a licensed immigration advisor, and she is here as well to assist all you wonderful people who would like to be part of this session and learn all about international quality education in New Zealand. And if there are any questions around migration aspect of it, about your visas and what happens after you study and stuff like that, myself and Mary will be able to address those issues. And we already have about 50 people here, which is a great start. And I shall quickly hand it over to Marcel to do a quick introduction of himself and the rest of the AUT team. Thank you.
Kia ora, Arun. Thank you very much for arranging this session for us today. Thank you also to the team at AJV. Kia ora koutou, namaste. My name is Marcel Fletcher. I'm the Regional Manager for India and the subcontinent at AUT. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. I know it is a tough time at the moment for you all out there, but be strong and we'll all get through this together. We're going to talk to you a little bit about AUT University today, Auckland University of Technology. So AUT is New Zealand's youngest and second largest university. I say youngest, but we do have a very long history of teaching. We've been teaching since 1895, so over 100 years. First as a technical college, then as an ITP or a polytechnic, and then as a university in the year 2000 when we gained our accreditation. So with our kind of technical college and ITP polytech background, we are very, very hands-on. We're very industry focused, but at the same time, we are doing a lot in the research space as well. We have 250 programs from pre-degree all the way up to PhD. We have over 5,000 industry partners, and as mentioned, a very interactive style of learning. So AUT actually has 3 campuses. We have all of these campuses in the city of Auckland, which is New Zealand's commercial hub. It's the biggest city in Auckland, it's most populated, and it's really where all the business happens. So in terms of our 3 campuses, the Auckland City campus is the main campus, and that is where we have our engineering and IT programs amongst other ones. I'm going to focus on engineering today, and my colleagues Maziar and John Tukey will be speaking to you a little bit later on. What makes AUT stand out, apart from its industry-based learning, its practical style, its curriculum, its internationalization of the curriculum and its lecturers and students, is our facilities. As an engineering student, you will be generally based in our newest and state-of-the-art building, the WZ building. The building itself is a teaching tool, and it's a fantastic learning by doing and seeing. So without further ado, I'm going to leave it over to my colleagues to continue their presentation on AUT and engineering programs that we have to offer. So I'll pass you over now to my colleague, Professor John Tukey, who will be able to take it away. That's you.
That's me. I'm on. Okay.
You're on.
Right. What I'm going to quickly do is share a presentation screen here. So you've got a few things to look at whilst I'm talking, he says, with the air of one who, for some reason, can't find the... Oh, God damn it. Damn it. For some reason, it's not playing the game at the moment.
Sometimes I like to play the game.
Yeah. Well, I just quickly went on there. There we are. Hopefully you can see that.
Yep.
Yep, looking very good.
Okay, so my name is John Tukey. I'm from the School of Future Environments at AUT, Faculty of Design and Creative Technology. My colleagues will no doubt tell you a little bit about their respective bits of the big pie which we represent. As Marcel says, we've got some of the best facilities kicking around in New Zealand at the moment, and it's an absolute pleasure to be able to represent an organisation with this sort of offer on the table. We have a very great success, particularly recruiting from India into the various programs that we have. As Marcel previously alluded to, we've got 4 campuses in and around Auckland, very modern facilities. We rate very highly internationalisation, and it's a beautiful, clean, modern, safe environment to be in. As Marcel alluded to, second largest in New Zealand, huge number of industry partners, high degree of work which ultimately delivers high levels of employability post-graduation, and that's really where we score over everywhere else. We have this high level of employability, tremendously so. Within the Faculty of Design and Creative Technologies, we have a range of different schools, and again, my colleagues will talk to you a little bit about each one of those. I represent the School of Future Environments, which is a new school, and we've got about 35 academics and about 750 students, and we literally represent the ABC of future environments, in the sense of we cover off architecture, built environment, and creative technologies as our core areas. And the intention here is to bring together various new programs of related to architecture, construction, engineering, construction management, and similar. And we've got a very robust track record of successfully transitioning people through industry-focused education into employment post-graduation. Some of the facilities we represent here, test halls and all the sexy bits of kit, if you're an engineer and you like bending things, breaking things, and manipulating designs, and this is what we have to offer. And when it comes to some of the other issues, oh, there's a nice photograph of me there, that's scary. However, we have some tremendous facilities in terms of motion capture, virtual reality, visualization technologies, and similar around in the school as well. So we have all the toys to play with. Marcel alluded to the fact that the facility we occupy, the WZ building, is actually a tool in and of itself, and the reason being that it's actually the entirety of the structure has been designed to be able to represent both engineering and architectural design in operation. So all the structure is actually available for people to look at and use as a teaching tool. Excuse me. The facility is an award-winning design, and as we occupy it, we're finding more and more and increased uses of it. So it's really quite a good bit of kit to come and stay in, and as a place to study, it's second to none. And what we're in the business of doing ultimately is getting students through a program of study, industry focused, with better experiences, better graduates, better jobs, and ultimately delivering a better future for our students. And we have, as I say, very high levels of employability post-graduation. So just to quickly summarize what we're doing in terms of program offerings, we have architecture programs currently on offer. So we have a Bachelor of Architecture and Future Environments, which is a 3-year qualification aimed at becoming a professional architect. It's a design intensive course, and it's been oriented around creation of a pathway through to professional practice in the future. So you do the 3-year bachelor's degree and then do a 2-year master's degree afterwards. Typically, the way in which you apply for this program, you need to IELTS at 6 or 6.0 with all bands over 5.5 if you're going into the undergraduate program. And if you're looking at doing the the master's program, it's a 2-year program, and there you need IELTS at 6.5 overall. As I say, 2-year program going through to become a professional architect post-graduation. Looking at the built environment programs, some very attractive propositions here. We're one of the largest built environment groups in the country, and consequently we have very robust numbers coming in. the principal areas of that we have recruiting into at the moment, we have 2 4-year qualifications, a Bachelor of Engineering Honours in Construction Engineering and Bachelor of Engineering Honours in Architectural Engineering. Both of these are 4-year accredited programs under the Engineering New Zealand, basically recognition under Washington Accord. For both of these programs, IELTS at 6 and Standard University entrance examinations. So the using the standards that typically go through from the Indian system as well, which you'll all be quite familiar with, I'm sure. In addition, we have a further pathway at undergraduate level, which is a 3-year Bachelor of Engineering Technology. Currently, 2 3-year Bachelor of Engineering Technology qualifications in construction, dealing with building engineering and building services engineering. These are accredited under the Sydney Accord, recently accredited in 2018, and their university standard entrance requirements, including maths and physics and IELTS at 6. Quickly moving on, we also offer specialist professional degrees, and these are particularly attractive to Indian students coming in. They're 1-year programs, which means that they're very quick to engage with, and they have, as I say, very high levels of engagement post-graduation. I mean, basically, we don't have unemployment has been a significant element of graduates coming from either of these programs. So we have the Master of Construction Management, which is suitable for civil engineers, building construction graduates, QSs, architects, and similar. 1 year, typically need a 1 to 2 years worth of work experience. And we have another program, which is the Master of Engineering Project Management, which is oriented towards mainstream engineering qualifications, the likes of mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and similar. And these are typically require a minimum of 2 years work experience. Again, 1 year full time. Both of these qualifications have high levels of employment post graduation. Moving on, the third leg to our school is that we have creative technology programs as well, and these are three-year qualifications aimed at creating the types of technologies that can integrate technology, aesthetic performance and products to create innovative solutions for a range of different areas. So we've got a lot of different pathways that you can follow, either being more sort of technically focused, dealing with things like software, for example, or more aesthetically focused as well. So it's very much a multidisciplinary type of qualification. So the types of content we have there includes programming, film creation, animation, soundscapes, and so on. Similar to the previous qualifications, IELTS requirement is at 6 overall, with bands at 5.5 or higher. And we also offer a master's degree in the same discipline area, which is research driven. It's a 2-year qualification over and 240 points under our system. And again, very flexible, very creative if it's where you want to go. Students typically in this area have various different thematics that are dealt with, including animation, transmedia, storytelling, a range of different directions that particular qualification can go in as well. Okay, so lots of good stuff, but I guess the quick and just 2 to 3 minutes of your additional time, I have to say, why come to New Zealand? And this is something I've been specifically asked to speak to, so I will do. There's a bit more to New Zealand than just the pretty pictures that we've got of the mountains there, and obviously the sheep. And you've got to bear in mind that we're a country of 38 million sheep and about 5.5 million dairy cattle, and about the same number of beef cattle as well. So if the sheep and the cows got together and they turned on the humans, we'd be in big trouble because they outnumber us heavily. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot more to New Zealand than just, as I say, the sort of Middle Earth thing. The best thing about New Zealand, speaking as an immigrant coming into New Zealand myself, is the fact that you become a big fish in a small pond real quick. the country rewards people who are proactive and have a high degree of engagement with the work that they do. So anybody who's pushing themselves forward and pushing themselves on is most certainly respected in New Zealand. Flexibility in New Zealand is the key to success, and that's the sort of mindset that you have to take to New Zealand if you come. You have to be flexible. You've got to people tend to think, particularly if they're coming from India, that it's one very, very narrow specialization that you go into. In reality, New Zealand, to be successful in New Zealand, you've got to be an all-rounder and have the ability to reconfigure your thinking to take on any opportunities that come along. The one thing we desperately need more of is high-quality STEM graduates, because we need more STEM graduates than we produce. So science, technology, engineering, maths, those sorts of folks is definitely the way to go. And the sorts of skills that really have demand for throughout the economy: IT, telecoms, pretty much all branches of engineering, software engineering is similar. Construction and infrastructure, I mean, just post-COVID, we're going into a massive building phase with lots of different construction taking place. And then project management as well, so the actual management skills associated with construction. What you have to do as a student is you need to get over the notion of having a bigger and better badge. A lot of people tend to focus on getting a master's degree when actually getting the skills associated with a postgrad diploma in construction, or a postgrad diploma in engineering, or a postgrad diploma in computing, for example, every bit as capable and every bit as useful in terms of employability. Another assumption that tends to be the case in New Zealand is, or when a student comes to New Zealand, is that specialization is more important than flexibility. I'm here to tell you that's completely wrong. The classic example I always give is, if you get somebody coming from India and they are, for example, wanting to do automotive engineering, I say, okay, great. Do you know how many car manufacturers we have in New Zealand? And the answer is 0, none, not a one. Okay, so why would you do automotive engineering if your aspiration is to get a job? So you need to be to understand what the realities are. So I would always emphasize the need to do research. So as an example here, we've got New Zealand's got 20 heart surgeons, no car manufacturing. Do we need more heart surgeons or automotive engineers? And I would say we actually need more heart surgeons than automotive engineers. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the bizarre things that we deal with. We import all our vehicles from, perversely, Japan and India, but I digress. Okay. The ranking of the university is not as important, actually, as you may think. So really, all the universities in New Zealand are all highly ranked in the international marketplace. And so really, if you come to any university, but obviously ours best, but if you come to any university, they're all very, very good, and you shouldn't get too wound up about ranking particularly. And basically all the big global companies are operational in New Zealand. Well, actually, no, they're not. We don't have all the big stuff. What we have is we have a lot of boutique, unique stuff. So even the software houses that we have tend to be relatively small, but they're very nuanced, and they have a very strong demand. But I'll give you an example. Orion Healthcare is a company you've probably never heard of, and yet within the area of patient data, they are world leaders and world class, and yet you've never heard of them. We have very, very very bespoke, unique sets of capabilities. So all I'd ask you to do is check your assumptions and make sure that you don't over-assume. So as I say, all universities have a high ranking. All the universities produce high quality graduates. We produce very, very high quality graduates with high levels of employability. The companies that we have are small, so we need adaptable people who are capable of reconfiguring their brain as much as anything else. Preparation is the key to success for all students. So make sure you do your research, and make sure that you've done some research in the target sector that you're looking at. If you want to be in construction, research the construction companies. If you want to be in IT, research the IT companies, and make sure you understand what you're getting yourself into. And the biggest single thing you can bring to New Zealand to ensure success, get some work experience. Absolutely guaranteed, because work experience beats qualification every time. And as far as agents are concerned, this is what you need to make sure that all agents should communicate this, so that you don't force them into a direction which is overly academic and underplays certain other options, like, for example, a postgrad diploma, which is really important for employability purposes. So, sorry, that was extreme speed, everybody. I hope you've got some questions for me after the session, but now I'll hand over to my esteemed colleague. I think it's Maziar. Is Maziar next?
Thank you.
Okay.
Let me just
I'll stop the sharing.
Yep, thanks.
Did I overrun, Marcel?
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Maziar Ramazani, and I'm the program leader for postgraduate engineering in the School of Engineering, Computer and Mathematical Sciences. So today I'll briefly talk about our postgraduate engineering programs at Auckland University of Technology. So what was that? Yeah, as John said, we are actually the top 1% university in the world, and we are #1 in global impact. We are actually the best university, the top ranked university for international outlook and global research impact. What I wanted to add actually is that all the three departments that I'm representing today, the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Department of IT and Software Engineering, and Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, based on the subject ranking, all these three departments are also the top 1% in the world. So a bit of an overview of the structure of Auckland University of Technology. We have 5 faculties with 17 schools actually within these faculties. We are from the Faculty of Design and Creative Technologies. And in the Faculty of Design and Creative Technologies, we have 4 schools. So John already talked about the School of Future Environments. So I am from the School of Engineering, Computer and Mathematical Sciences. So in our school, we have 5 departments. Department of Computer Sciences, Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Information Technology and Software Engineering. We have Department of Mathematical Science and Department of Mechanical Engineering. So we are very research focused. We have 4 research institutes and 16 research labs and 140 faculty staff. And as of last week, we had 241 PhD students just in our school. So we do research in different areas that, of course, I don't have actually time to go through them. But for example, we have a research center for advanced manufacturing technologies, where we actually do experimental and theoretical work on different important manufacturing processes. We are one of the best in additive manufacturing. We have international reputation in surface engineering and material science. We have an excellent research center for energy and power engineering. We do research in robotics, in autonomous systems, in artificial intelligence, in smart systems, in biomedical engineering, and so on. So there are different areas that actually our 140 faculty staff actually work. And of course, our PhD students and research staff actually contribute to these research areas. So what we offer for postgraduate engineering. So we actually offer different postgraduate engineering disciplines. So telecommunications engineering, power energy system engineering, and control engineering are within the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. We offer also computer and software engineering for postgraduate students, which is within the IT and software engineering department. And also we have mechanical, manufacturing, and materials, which are within the Department of Mechanical Engineering. We also have 2 postgrad programs, architectural engineering and construction engineering, which are actually co-run and co-taught by actually the School of Future Environment. So I just go briefly through the actually programs that we offer. We have 3 types of programs for postgraduate students. We have postgraduate certificate for engineers, postgraduate diploma for in engineering, and we also have master of engineering. So postgraduate certificate in engineering is basically just a 1 semester engineering, postgrad engineering degree. So you have to actually pass 60-point courseworks, which is like in 1 semester, 4 papers, 15 points papers. And then it actually helps you, or it actually prepare you to move from undergraduate to postgraduate program. So after you finish the first semester, and then if you get B average or higher, then you can actually transfer, or you can upgrade to postgraduate diploma in engineering or master of engineering. We also have postgraduate diploma in engineering. So it's a 120 points coursework program for students with 4-year engineering degree. So you can finish it in 2 semesters or in a 1-year full-time study. And if you complete the first semester with B average or better, then you can also move to or upgrade to Master of Engineering if you wish. If you graduated from a 3-year Bachelor of Engineering Technology program, then postgraduate diploma in engineering can also serve as a pathway to progress to study Master of Engineering. So in this case, then you have to actually pass 120 points with B average or higher, and then you can transfer to ME program. Then you can actually do like a project, a research project, write a report, and get your master's degree. And then finally, we have Master of Engineering. There are 2 pathways for Master of Engineering: research pathway, which is just working on a research project and write a thesis at the end. So then here, the focus will be mainly on academic research. So you will work with one of our research centers, and then you will have an academic supervisor that is going to actually guide you and direct you to actually do your thesis. And we also have another pathway, which is a coursework pathway for a Master of Engineering. So this includes 1 semester coursework or 60 points, which are like, again, 3 or 4 papers, depending on the points for each paper. And then after that, you're going to actually work on a research project and write a research report. And again, you're going to finish it in 1-year full-time study. So if you get actually like the postgraduate diploma, and then you want to with a 3-year master, with a 3-year bachelor degree, and then you want to transfer to Master of Engineering, then you can do the 180-point program to actually get your Master of Engineering degree. So to be directly eligible to enroll in Master of Engineering, you should have like a 4-year engineering degree, a Bachelor of Honors, and then you should also have a B average or higher grade in math papers or in math courses, and also in final year courses. So then if you are not actually having the B average or higher, then as I said, you can enroll in postgraduate diploma, and then after 1 semester, you can actually progress to Master of Engineering as well. So there are different actually ways that you can actually go through any of these 3 programs for postgraduate students. And these 3 programs that we have for postgraduate students are designed to actually enhance your knowledge in the field of engineering. So usually we have the student projects in these courses as part of the assessment, and these projects are mostly like real-world industry projects, and these projects can help you make a better career after graduation. That's all from me for now, but happy to answer your questions. Thank you very much, everyone. Just let me...
Well, while there's a little break, I'd also like to welcome to the session Tanuwa Majumdar, who is also our colleague from AJV Global, and Tanawa comes with a lot of experience in the immigration industry. She worked with Immigration New Zealand as a manager for 22 years in the Delhi branch before she decided to come and join Team AJV Global, and which is fantastic to have her experience. And she is going to be the main MC here onwards, and I'll hand it over to her, and but we continue with the rest of the introductions of the individuals and the schools.
Kia ora. Thanks, Arun. Good morning, everybody. Thank you to everybody who's already spoken today. Lovely to have you all here. Without further ado, I'll just hand it over to Dr. Yvonne Chan. She'll complete her introductions before we move on to the rest of our panelists. Yvonne, over to you.
Thanks, Nuva. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today with you, and thank you for making the time to listen to our presentations. My name's Yvonne Chan. I'm the Director of External Engagement for the Faculty of Design and Creative Technologies. And I just wanted to add to what my colleagues Marcel, Mazir and John have spoken about with regards to the culture at AUT University and New Zealand in general. One of the things that AUT students, our graduates, are known from industry and community is that our graduates are industry ready. And that is because of our work integrated learning culture. So what does that mean? Because of our close industry and community connections, we have a great relationship where they provide industry projects for our students to integrate in their learnings. So that gives them a hands-on experience. There is also a collaborative culture where students work with each other as well as the industry or community partner. And also the internship opportunities that do come through either through these projects or via a subsidy within AUT called AUT Interns. Also, we have another student support service called Employability and Careers. And here you're able to attend workshops that this service provides to our students. And also in collaboration with them, we have regular industry speaker series. And we have two variations of that. So we have one for our ICT and engineering students and also for our creative industry students as well. So in combination of all of this, as well as our amazing facilities that our campuses have, the reputation of a university enables students to get employed quickly. So over 90% of our students are in roles within a year when they graduate. So yeah, just wanted to give you that further insight to our connections with industry and community and how that's engraved in your learning and the student experience. So if you have any questions, we're here, and also feel free to contact us or via AJV, and we can answer some questions. So thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne. We can now move into the question answer session because we've got quite a few questions here sitting in our chat and our Q&A section. So I'm going to just start with the first one here, which is from Prithvi Raj Baradar, who says, "Hi sir, I'm Indian. I'm Prithvi Raj Baradar. I have completed civil engineering. So interested doing a job in New Zealand country, so I need help. What can I do? So any support, tell me, sir." He's got some follow-up questions as well, wherein, yeah, he says, "I'm interested doing job in construction line. I'm studying in construction line better." So Mary, can I just direct this question at you? Because this person is actually interested in doing a certain kind of job in New Zealand. So could you tell him what would be the best option sort of for him?
Right. Prithviraj, so I see that you are looking at working in New Zealand, but this, as you said, this session today, it is for people who are interested to study in New Zealand and look at that pathway. So we'll be focusing on that area, but we could have an offline chat about, you know, what kind of prospects you will have in New Zealand, but we will have to leave this question away and we will connect with you offline on this. My team will connect and help you out with that. But Professor John would like to add something on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so would
well,
I. So would I. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
As professor of construction, which is what I am, I can tell you that anything you want to know about the construction industry, but
I think John's frozen in time, unfortunately.
as far as the best and most appropriate way.
Yeah, just back.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. Right. Sorry about that. It's rural broadband. My apologies. But the best, most appropriate way to go is deciding whether or not you want to do a technical qualification or a management-based qualification. If you want to do a technical-based qualification, then do a postgrad diploma in engineering or a Master of Engineering in well, basically focusing on construction. Alternatively, do a if you want to do more management, then go for a Master of Construction Management, which is a one-year qualification. In terms of employability, the Master of Construction Management is probably the most immediately employable, simply because it emphasizes employability skills such as law in construction, construction project management skills, for example, as well as a wider range of technical requirements, or management-based requirements for employment in the local industry. So if you want to really get a handle on employability skills, then probably the Master of Construction Management is the one you want to go for.
Right. Just to add to that question that Prithviraj asked, and this is something that we get very, very often from many people saying, hey, look, I already have a bachelor's in engineering or IT, and now I would like to work in New Zealand, which is great because we also have skill shortages in this particular areas in New Zealand, and we would love to see you come and work here in New Zealand. But you've got to bear in mind, just having a list published which says long-term skill shortage list, be it construction or IT, doesn't mean necessarily that employers in New Zealand are willing to already hire somebody who is not present in the country, number one. Two, who don't have the legal working right to work in New Zealand. And most employers are not immigration professionals, nor do they understand immigration law very well. They are looking for people who are present in the country and who have the legal right to work, which is where your investment into a course like doing a Master's of Construction from AUT University, or into where you can upskill yourself at the international level. And also for most people like you, Prithviraj, who are outside New Zealand, I mean, I'm not to sound derogatory, but working and living in the West is a whole new ball game, rather than just coming straight off India and wanting to fit into the system. So when you come in as an international student for a little while into New Zealand, you come and do a course at a university like AUT University. Not only do you get an international qualification, but you get that 1 year period as a student to get yourself into the system, the culture, the thinking, and the networking across in New Zealand. Plus, once you do a course from a university, you are also most likely to get a 1, 2, or 3 years post-study work. So now we are ticking off all the things that an employer is looking for, which is you're present in New Zealand, plus you have the legal right to work in New Zealand, plus you have now upskilled yourself from a recognized university like AUT. Like for instance, if you're applying and write to an employer saying, I'm from Bharatiya University, nobody even knows what it means. But when you say I'm a master's graduate in construction from AUT University, there's an immediate recognition of who you are and what that institution means. So it's important for you guys who are seeking these pathways into New Zealand to consider to come in as international students. And the government has created this law which says that you will get a 1, 2, or 3 year post-study work visa. And if you're coming for a master's at AUT, you will get a 3 years post-study work visa, which means the government is also creating that platform and pathway for you to come in, finish that course, get into the workforce, and if you're good, somebody's going to pick you up. And you will be good when you choose a field like creative technologies or construction or engineering, because these are all in our skill shortage list. And that's the reason we're having this session today, putting only this group of professors and this group of people together, because we are also trying not just to fill some more people into our universities. We are trying to address the longer term need that we as a country have. And that is where you will create your opportunities. Sorry about that long-winded answer, but it is important to understand how education from a university like AUT can be a significant step in creating your future in a country like New Zealand. Yes, there is an investment of $20,000 or $30,000, but you're going to get it back the moment you get employed in the construction sector. You're going to get it back in less than 6 months' time. So you've got to think logically, you've got to think long-term, and you've got to think maturely as well. All right, so just my 2 bits on that one.
Thanks, Arun, and thanks, John, for that.
Yeah, Yvonne. Yeah.
Can I just add to that, just as some extra advice? I mean, I just had a meeting with one of the New Zealand construction companies called Fletcher Building, and one of the things that they're looking for in graduates is a little bit of diversity in their learning. Mm-hmm. So it's great if you do specialize in one particular area, but if you do also diversify, like for example, including data management, or kind of including also the project management and AI, you're making yourself, your skill set very niche, and you have that edge, and that's what they are looking for as well. And AUT can provide that learning opportunities as well. So, and that's one of the things where we do have that upper edge amongst the other universities, is that you can diversify your learning, and this is what industry are looking for.
Absolutely.
So just to add on.
Thanks, Yvonne. I think that was really helpful. So we've got another question from somebody called Vivo1901. When we're talking about high education or quality education, what does that really mean? It's about gaining more knowledge or making a better career, or something else? Please enlighten us. Marcel, would you like to take this question, please?
Yes, once I get myself off mute. So in terms of New Zealand, I guess what we can say is New Zealand only has 8 universities, and all of the universities are state or government universities. So that means we are regulated by the government. We have to be really at the top of our game with what we do. If we are going to offer a program in engineering or any other subject, it needs to be relevant, it needs to be up to date, and it needs to be what the labor market is looking for right now. So we are often and always updating our curriculum. If you think about countries overseas, for example, UK, US, even Canada, they have many, many universities. They have hundreds of universities, thousands in some cases. It's very hard to regulate 1,000 universities in a country. Yes, some of those countries have very top high-end universities, but very hard to get into. So in terms of New Zealand, it's a great choice. We only have 8 universities. All of the universities are in the top 500. AUT is in the top 1% of universities worldwide. So in terms of high-end university, you get the good quality, you get lecturers who are very high-end, the professors you're speaking with today. You get a very international curriculum as well, and you will be studying with professionals. So you're learning from your teachers, but you're also learning from your colleagues in your class. They're all from fantastic backgrounds, and I guess in terms of high quality, New Zealand is the place.
Thanks, Marcel. The next question is, does Master of Engineering Project Management program require an IELTS score? And I guess, what is that score?
Yes, it does. It requires IELTS at 6.5. The Master of Engineering Project Management was actually designed by me. It's been
Okay.
It's been in operation for the last coming up 7 years. The requirement, if you've got a first class degree in the first instance from an Indian institution, so we're talking about sort of in excess of 6.5 as your CGPA from a recognized institution, preferably higher. Obviously, that we're talking about the difference between the bare minimum and what we'd prefer to see. In addition, the other thing we require for the MEPM program is also to have a preferably 2 years worth or more of work experience, because one of the things that a lot of Indian students don't necessarily get is that you actually need work experience is massively important in New Zealand, simply because we're such a hands-on type of society.
Yeah.
And the best way of thinking about it is if two people came for a job, one's got a postgrad diploma in engineering and one's got a master's degree, who would you employ? And anybody in India will typically say, well, the master's degree straight away. But if I said, well, actually, the master's degree has got no work experience and the postgrad diploma has got 1 or 2 years work experience, who are you going to employ? Everybody would say the postgrad diploma, right? And the same rules apply in New Zealand. Having work experience, massively important. It's one of the reasons why we insist upon it for our professional qualifications, both the Master of Engineering Project Management, Master of Construction Management, and also the Master of IT Project Management, which is one of the engineering, computing, and maths programs, which is also very successful at recruiting internationally as well.
Thanks, John. Any questions also regarding Masters in Construction Management? So, this,
Okay.
hi all. I have already pursued my Masters in Construction Management in the UK. What would be the better course for professional career, John?
Okay. Well, then it gets really quite interesting, because in the first instance, I'd say, well, which program did you follow? In which institution? I came from the UK myself, and I know the institutions very well. Secondly, what work experience have you got as a result of that time period? Okay, Sheffield Hallam. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Have you got any work experience? If you got work experience, then possibly a way to go would be, because you need to show progress when you apply for any program in New Zealand. So you don't just repeat the same qualification again and again. So you got 8 years work experience. Okay, that's good. 8 years work experience is great. So you might want to think about possibly doing either maybe a business focused degree, possibly, which would be beneficial, and possibly pick up some of the specific courses that would be user friendly and valuable for you as a construction professional. You can apply for the Master of Construction Management program, but if you've already got a Master in Construction Management, any Immigration New Zealand case officer would look at it and go, why are you doing the same qualification again? So in this instance, possibly something that's more sort of maybe global business or something like that in the business faculty, or even an MBA, because you could actually do an MBA if you wish to do so. That would be my recommendation. The issue here is not necessarily, we can offer content in construction management as good as or better than pretty much anywhere else worldwide. I can absolutely guarantee you on that, because I've done a lot of work around the planet. The issue is not that. The issue is providing a pathway for someone who wishes to come into New Zealand in the very, very specific circumstances of somebody with a wide range of experience, and now is in effect wanting to repeat the same qualification again. And that's where the issue falls down. And that's why I'd recommend probably going towards maybe a business qualification. But obviously the fact that you've got substantial work experience in construction means that you would be picked up without too much of a problem, I think.
Sure.
Thanks, John. The next one's from Rahul. Hi, I'm from India with a degree like Bachelor of Science in Mathematics, Physics with 70% marks overall. Could you tell me, please, how can I get into field of engineering via any study program so that I can get the job in New Zealand easily in engineering industry? My Bachelor of Science is at 7 according to NZQA. I think, John, this just might be something for you or Mazia.
Yeah. So
well, go on. Let Mazia do his thing.
okay. No, I just
Go for it,
wanted to
Mazia.
yeah. For engineering programs, for postgraduate engineering programs, we only accept students who have relevant bachelor degree. So you said that you have a bachelor of, sorry, what was your bachelor degree?
Science.
It's a bachelor's in science.
Bachelor in science. It's very broad. So we have to look actually at the papers or the courses that you passed, and then we can actually see that it's relevant to engineering. And if it's relevant to what actually discipline in engineering. But if you passed any of these like math and engineering papers, then it must be relevant, and you can start with a postgraduate certificate, and then if you do well, then you can actually progress to like a Master of Engineering later.
Can I make a suggestion? If you've got somebody with a heavy mathematics background and who hasn't actually done an engineering qualification direct, then probably the best program in terms of marketability and employability out of all of our the various different options that we have is probably to go for a Master of Analytics. Okay. And the reason being that that analytics program offering is an absolute winner in terms of its validity in the current day and age. So analytics is a really strong program for anybody coming in with more generic mathematics. Okay, without getting into the weeds, when you do engineering is basically applied mathematics. Fine, we get that. And it's a sort of applied physics as well. But when you get into analytics, business analytics and similar, it makes you transition, or it takes more generic mathematical modeling skill set, and and it can apply it to macroeconomic cycles and that sort of, and business fluctuations and similar. Yeah. So analytics is probably the best program offering that we have to offer within DCT and ECMS or any of the qualifications that we have, because it makes you it gives you a very, very clear focus of sort of a career outcome, okay, without necessarily having to jump through the hoops necessary to get you in line with an engineering qualification, which could be a real mission to be able to pick up the necessary qualifications. So I would recommend the analytics program every time.
I think that's a great suggestion. Yeah.
Thanks, John. Great. Rajat wants to know that Rajat's an AJV client and he has an offer letter for MSc Construction Management for the Feb 2021 intake. So he would like to know whether this course is likely to start in Feb 2021 for international students, or is this likely to be deferred?
I think we need to give him the phone number of the Education Minister's office. Marcel, I think you should handle this.
I was drinking my tea. You did, that was unnecessary. That was very good. Yes.
Yep.
Right.
It's a very good question. First of all, congratulations on your offer. It's great that you've met the requirements of the degree, and that you've got an offer. So basically, now we are in an election year. We do have to wait until we have an outcome of our New Zealand government election in October. We know that both parties do want the borders to be open. However, it is a bit of a political game at the moment, and we are waiting for a further kind of direction from our government, whichever government that may be. In February, if the borders for some reason are not open, there will be online offerings. However, I do understand that AUT has a plan in place. We are currently scenario planning depending on what the outcome is of the government, we will have an outcome, and we will be able to get back to all our students with the answer in terms of what that is once we know which government we have. So
Yeah,
I know it was a bit of a mystic answer. My colleagues, Arun, if you've got something to add to that.
If I mean, obviously, for us at AJV Global, our entire existence depends on New Zealand borders being open. And so I've been tracking it quite closely to see what's happening. Plus, I'm also in conversation with some very senior people in the government. And I think Marcel rightly identified that, obviously they're waiting to see how it's going to play out. But bear in mind that international education is our fourth largest industry at $5 billion of revenue to us as a country here in New Zealand. It is something of such importance that we simply cannot afford to wish it away. And if COVID is going to persist, we will, I guess, have to learn to live with it and come out with some kind of mechanism where we can do a safe entry of, international students. So it's not a question of if, it's only a question of when. Will it happen in February is the question. And my take on that is that, yes, I think we're gonna try out smaller cohorts of students initially to try and see, because I think there were also some discussions between the government as well as the universities to say if they get into some kind of an arrangement where the universities are responsible for quarantining some of the international students. So I think all those are being worked through. But the
this student is in a very good position as well, because he has his offer. He's basically waiting for New Zealand to say, are we open or not? So
absolutely.
He's in a good position. He's ready to go.
Yeah, so good position. And my advice to not just this particular student, but everybody else with an offer is think and act and behave like it's going to open in February. That's my best suggestion to you.
And that's
because you have nothing to lose. You have to collect those documents anyway. Collect them, keep them ready, pass them on to your AJV visa officer. We'll get it already. Worst case scenario. And I'm telling you, there's tons of pressure on this government to open the borders. I do believe they will open. One last point, and as and when they do open, I think students who are coming for the higher level courses like masters and at the universities will be preferred over somebody else coming for lower level courses at some other institutions. So all things considered, I think you're in a really good place.
Thanks, guys. The next question is from Ankit Singalore. And I think this might be for you, John. So Ankit says, as you said, work experience is important, whether it should be related to construction field or any other field. Might be talking about the masters in construction management, I think, John. Okay. Arun, you're on mute.
Can you hear me at all?
Yes, now we can.
I think John's freezing.
Sorry.
So maybe Mazia can.
Yeah, it's just the wind speed is very high, and consequently my antenna is wobbling a little. Relevant work experience is the most important always. There's a huge difference between building things on a building site as opposed to stacking shelves in a supermarket. So it's if you have got work experience, that's great. Having work experience relevant to your chosen career direction is obviously the way to go if you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, John. Next question is, I've completed 4 years bachelor's degree. So can I do 120 points master's degree? Anyone who'd like
in
to?
What? In what?
If it's in engineering, if you're asking about engineering, yes, you can do that after you finish your 4-year bachelor degree in engineering in the relevant discipline. Then you can do a master. But the requirement is that your final year courses and the average math courses should be B average or higher.
Okay.
If that's the case, then, and of course, if you meet the English language requirement, then you can actually directly enroll in Master of Engineering. Otherwise, you have to start from Postgraduate Diploma in Engineering, and then after 1 semester, if you do good, then you can transfer to Master.
Thanks, Mazia. Um, the next question from Ritesh. I have completed Masters in Environmental Studies from Nalanda International University. It's an university in India. I'm looking for opportunity for another master and PhD. What would you suggest?
Sorry, what was the master degree?
In environmental studies.
Okay, so John, yeah, you.
Oh, no, you look
Yeah,
keen.
okay.
I don't
Yeah.
want to get in the way. You just go for it. You go for it, man.
No, I just wanted to say that unfortunately, we are not offering any environmental discipline, so it's not relevant to engineering. So but I'm not sure about the School of Future Environment.
Okay. Mazir, I was hoping that you would come up with a really good answer and I could go, yeah, that's perfect. Unfortunately not. Look, if you've got environmental studies, then your option, it depends on what direction you want to go into. So as far as the AUT offerings generically are concerned, I would look towards one of the fast track masters in science type of qualifications that we have in the School of Science. The reason being that you can do, you can pick and choose between environmental studies, you can do, sort of everything from flipping whale watching through to bird spotting or whatever it is. But the point is, that if you've got an environmental background, then you're not necessarily going to easily transfer straight to an engineering stream or even a built environment stream. If you've got an environment background, you're probably going to go with things like air quality and that sort of, and water quality and so on. So I would look at we offer a 1-year program, 180 credit points. It's very intense, offering in science that you would probably be best suited for. You need IELTS at 6.5. You'd need your first degree with, again, 6.5 as a minimum, preferably 7 or higher for your CGPA. And then just have a look at the course content. And the best thing to do is go to the AUT website, have a look at the study areas that we have on offer in science and the types of and the types of papers that you can select from the science portfolio. And you will be in a position to be able to tackle a qualification going forward.
Thanks, John. We've actually passed 11:30, so we've done an hour, but we'll go for another 10-15 minutes more and pick a few more questions because I think we've got quite a few here. The next one's from
Tanwa, if you could pick and choose the most appropriate to the group. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that one. So the next one's from Dhananjay Singh, who says, I've done bachelor's in civil engineering and I want to do my master's in structural engineering or in construction management. Can you give me some suggestions and please let me know about the fee structure, employment opportunity and procedure to apply? I think, John, that's perhaps for you.
Sounds like it again. That's okay. If you want to do structural engineering, then you would want to tackle the Master of Engineering program and choose structural engineering content coming out of the final year of our construction engineering degree, which is heavily focused on structural analysis, structural engineering content. If you want to do construction management, it's a 1-year program. As I alluded to before, the content didn't have a chance to go through because obviously we're in extreme time pressure. But the thing is that it really depends on you as a person what you want to focus on, because if you want to do structural engineering, you've really got to have the bug in you to do structural engineering, because it's a very, very particular skill set. If you want to be more of a generalist who covers off a range of different disciplines, then construction management's for you. And I can't really tell you which is the best way to go. It's interesting. Every time I've ever been to India, there's always 3 questions that's always asked. What's the scope? What jobs can you get? What's the fee structure? How much does it cost? And what are the scholarships? How much do we pay you to come? These are the 3 questions that everybody asks always. When it comes to the fee structure at the moment, because of we're in a state of flux specifically, with regard to COVID and so on. I cannot give you a figure for the 2021 year. Typically, the Master of Construction Management is in very strong demand. It's about 39,500, I think, for this year, as 39,500 New Zealand dollars for 1 year of study. But you know, again, I come back to what I previously said, which is you have to decide really what it is that which direction you want to go. Of the two qualifications, the one probably with more scope or career options is actually construction management rather than structural engineering, simply because the total number of jobs, it works like this: if these are all the jobs available in construction, these are the ones in structural engineering, or possibly even this, right? So there's you know, it's a small subset of a very large number of different options. So if you want to maximize your opportunity to engage with the various different offerings and the various different career opportunities that exist, construction management gives you a wider scope of potential engagement. Structural engineering is very, very specific and very, very narrow, focused in a very particular aspect of design, and that's you know, that's an area which has been under a bit of pressure because of the effects of the post-COVID world and so on.
Thanks for that, John. Very comprehensive. One of our attendees has actually directed a question to Dr. Mazia Ramzani, and this is Adnan Khan, who says, I would like to connect with Dr. Mazia Ramzani. I'm looking for research-based master's course in data science. I've done my master's in process modeling and simulation, chemical engineering in brackets. What are the scholarship options available?
So told you, big 3 stories.
For Master of Engineering, the main scholarship that we offer are actually the project-based. So we have, so basically the lecturers or the supervisors will apply for external funding, and then they have a specific project. Then if they want a master or a PhD student, in this case, master student, then you can apply for master by research, and they will pay your tuition fee and a stipend of, I think, depends on the funding, but usually around like 25,000 a year. But again, it all depends actually on the availability of the project. And for master's degree, it's actually very competitive. For PhD, it's better. But if you send me your CV, then I can direct it to the supervisors to see if there is any opportunity.
Thank you, Mazia. The next one's from Midhun, who says, I've completed my bachelor's in civil engineering and have 63% of mark. Also have 7 years of work experience in construction from India in Dubai. I have already received a conditional offer letter from AUT for Masters in Construction Management for Feb 2021 intake. Now I've done my IELTS and received 7.5 as the overall band. Is there any chance for rejection, as until now I have not received my unconditional offer letter?
I can absolutely tell you that there is no way you get rejected if you fulfill the requirements of the conditional offer. You're not going to get rejected. The only issue is literally that of whether or not the border's open and all the other stuff associated therein, right? You know, that's just the nature of the current situation we sit in. But I will absolutely guarantee you that on the basis of your 7 years work experience and your qualification, if you that you've got, you'll get an offer of place. If you don't, for any reason whatsoever, you've got my name, you've got my address there, you've got my details. Literally, all you have to do is get in touch with me directly. I will go and I will have pointed conversations with the program leader. Is that the right word? I'm not saying threats there. There's no threats. Pointed conversation with the program leader, and I will absolutely guarantee you a place. No problem. That's easy. Okay. There's no problem with any aspect of your qualifications to date. You will get an offer of place. I personally guarantee it.
Great.
When did the student apply for the program? Did they say?
It's not in this box, but we can definitely look that up because it says he's an AJV client, so we can follow.
Yeah. Please send through the student's details, and because he's an AJV client, we're very happy to try and fast track him through. Because he's joined the event today, we'll look him up tomorrow. We'll send it through to the program leader and we'll get him signed off.
Thanks, Marcel. Thanks, John. I'm sure Midun will sleep easy tonight. The next one, Sam, says, I studied my MCA, having 10 years of IT experience. So I wanted to enhance knowledge in project management. Would like to know about Masters in IT project management and its future in AUT. Would that be for you, Mazia?
Not really, but I will answer that. So Master of Master of IT Management is actually in a department within our school, but I'm not responsible for that. But anyway, so the IT management actually has a good job opportunity, of course, in New Zealand. You see that there are actually almost all our graduates can actually find relevant job. It depends on your actually background, and it depends on your grade that if you can be actually enrolled in this program. But if you actually send us the documents, then we'll process that and we will actually see if it's relevant to the disciplines that we are actually offering in the School of Engineering.
Okay, thanks, Mazia. This is the last question I will take. It is related to civil engineering. So this is from Pankaj Sharma, who says, hello team, I have done 3 years diploma in mechanical engineering after his year 12 in 2009. And since then, I'm working as a mechanical engineer in a USA-based MNC company in India. I wish to pursue Bachelor's of Engineering in Mechanical, will I get any relaxation in course duration under credit transfer policy? Secondly, which will be better, a Bachelor's in Engineering or a Bachelor's of Engineering with honors?
Yes, you will definitely get credit for the 3 years that you studied. So we will actually go through the courses that you passed and of course your grades as well, and then we'll cross credit them. So then probably if you have already have a 3-year like diploma in mechanical engineering, you will study 1 or 2 more years to actually, probably 2 more years to actually get a BE honors in mechanical engineering. So which one is better? Again, I can say that BE honors, of course, is better. So it has a better prestige and better chance for getting job with employers. But I really don't see any difference. It's basically your choice and how long you want to study. That's all. But we offer BE honors, and we also offer Bachelor of Engineering Technology, which is a 3-year bachelor degree. So depending on actually the results that we receive from you, then we can actually check and see that which one actually suits you better.
Thank you all. As we've overshot our time limit, I think I'm going to stop the questions here. That's not to say we will not respond to these questions. Somebody from the AJV team will definitely tackle all these questions and provide all the responses. Thank you, esteemed panelists. Thank you for joining us today. It was lovely to have you here. Arun, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was wondering just before we go away, if you want, could kind of close it out with some highlights of the school and the university and sort of tell students why they need to consider AUT. I thought that'll be good.
Great. Sure, Yvonne, would you like to just say a few words about the university?
Sure, thank you. Yeah, so to just add in on what I said with regards to our work integrated learning culture and how that enhances your learning experience, and then also adding on what the other panelists have said, that work experience is gold. And so it really, it's via the work integrated learning experience where you also would get that work experience. There'll be opportunities where you can do an internship sometimes. But the industry here in New Zealand is very open to interns. So it's putting yourself out there. And then also via, again, like I said earlier, via our employability and careers service, they're there to help with your LinkedIn profile, with your CV, how you can brand yourself so you stand out from other graduates as well. And then the learning experience that you will get will also help you stand out. So we do hope that you do, we do see you at AUT University here in New Zealand. It is a beautiful country. So I'm a migrant myself, like John. I'm from the UK and I've been in New Zealand for over 10 years now and never looked back. And I love working at AUT as well. It's a fantastic culture, very welcoming to international students as well.
Excellent.
So I'll just stop there. But thank you, and look forward to seeing you in New Zealand.
Thank you, Eva. Thank you for that. And thank you to the AU team, Marcel, Madhyar, and John, for taking the time out and talking to our audience and giving them really information about AUT and why AUT and why as well. I hope everybody found the session informative, and I know we've got a lot of questions we will deal with. We will provide all the responses to you. If anybody has any other issues or you want to study AUT, please don't hesitate to contact the team. We are all there to help you with your journey towards getting that qualification that you've been thinking about for a very long time now. So with that, in this session, all thanks for your time, thank you for attending, and stay safe. Catch you soon. Bye bye.